Produced locally in Spokane, Washington at Spocast.
Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGilvery Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGilvery and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGilvery Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGilvery Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGilvery Environmental, my number one choice for all my contracting needs. We're very excited to announce a new partner to the Perimeter Podcast, M4 CPA. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter Podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. They're in your corner every step of the way. M4 CPA, accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com.
The podcast intro song is Get Up by Jinx Universe. Listen to his music on Spotify and follow him on social media at I am Jinx Universe.
Yeah. Man, forget this job, dog. Yeah. Working this graveyard shift, I hate it. 6 in the morning, I'm off, I made it. When I get home, I'ma make this clear. First thing I'ma drink is a rain.
Welcome to the Perimeter, Season 4, Episode 25, presented by McGilvery Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. Going back to our roots a little bit, doing an interview, Brennan. It's nice. We got Ben Gregg on here, the lovely Ben Gregg. Thank you for taking the time. I like to do the interviews with like all the senior guys, not all of them, but the guys I like, especially.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like the guys that I've watched, especially 4-year guys. So we're going to get into kind of your career, ins and outs, fewy stories, anything like that. It should be fun. So initial thoughts when you guys just right off the bat, I know you can't say it like completely out loud, but like, were you surprised you got an 8 seed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought so too.
No, we were shocked. I mean, I feel like, before our last probably 5 or 6 games, that was probably an accurate seed for us. But then, we won some, a couple quad ones that I think really should have helped our resume more than, they gave us credit for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think a couple teams kind of got screwed with their seeds. I mean, Louisville, Creighton, both being 8-9s. I mean, that's a brutal first round matchup.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, we're going to have to play the top seeds to get where we wanted to go in March, but it just sucks that it was that early.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it, because obviously our metrics were 8, 10 in the Ken Palm and net.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 14 and 12 versus quad 1, quad 2, or plus 2 on the good side. So then it was just kind of it's like, well, what's the metric mean if you're going to get on the 8-9 line? And we've done a good job in years past, Fewy with their, kind of how they schedule everything to get off that 8-9 line to get on the other side of it. So I was a little perplexed. I've heard that they use a different metric that's called WAB, wins above bubble. whatever the fuck that means.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And so I think that's what everybody or the committee looks at more. And so I think that's why some people were head scratching.
Yeah.
Because every year it's starting to move the goalposts. Like, okay, quad 1, quad 2 used to be RPI when I played. And then now it's like Ken Palm. Okay, Ken Palm's great. And then you add in the net.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, why are we an 8? You know what I mean? Doesn't mean we had to be a 3.
No.
But it was like I was, if I was a betting man, I would have been like 6.
Yeah.
And
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I mean, I honestly thought we could have been a 4. But
yes.
like, I mean, how are we 8 in the country in Ken Palm and net, and then we're an 8 seed in a tournament? Like, that just didn't make any sense.
It was odd, but also obviously you guys played a great game against Houston and pushed them and had a chance to win that game or tie at the end. So looking at that, but it was just weird. Just right off the bat, I was like, fuck, man, 8-9. Like, you know, what are we gonna do? But anyway, but I digress. We'll move forward. To the fans that don't know where you're from, Clackamas, that's how you say it?
Yeah, Clackamas.
It's right outside of Portland, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I was born here and like grew up in the Post Falls area.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born here. My dad coached at Freeman High School for.
Oh, I didn't know that he was a Scotty.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I went to their games at the arena, their state tournament games.
Yeah.
So I had some family friends that were playing. So yeah, we got roots over there. And then moved when I was like 6 to.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of a Spokane 519er.
Yeah.
I like that.
Grandma lives out here, aunts and uncles. So I got a lot of family out here.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. So you guys moved because he was an AD, right? Is that
he got a coaching job at Warner Pacific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he just started being an AD. Just got that job and stopped coaching.
Yeah.
But he was coaching this whole time. 14 years, I think.
Yeah. My dad was a college basketball coach, 20 years, coached JUCO. It's hard to explain to people playing for your dad. How was it growing up? Did you have any like blow ups?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I got the best of it because I was the baby, you know, so I had 2 older brothers that definitely got it worse than I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, I loved it. I mean, he was getting the ball in my hands all the time.
That's the key. Like when I look back, my dad was hard on me, but also I'm like, there was a lot of pin downs run for me when I was like 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, for sure.
Coming off ball screens and stuff and like flex action. I'm like, if I think it back, like it was pretty good.
He definitely was hard on me, but at the same time, it's, you know, he wants the best for you at the same time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the reason I ask is like some people don't realize it's harder than people think. And then now I coach my daughter and coaching my youngest son, and it's just like, I don't want to be too hard on him, but I'm like, I was really hard on my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, maybe I'm going to be harder as my son. So it goes both ways. But when you play for your parent, it's hard to separate those two. But especially when your dad knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the other part. So you got to listen and understand. But in high school, you were what, Gatorade Player of the Years, I thought?
Yeah, my junior year. Well, my first 2 years, I went to a small Christian private school with like 100 kids in the whole school. My first 2 years, won that state tournament my freshman year, and then transferred to a bigger top class, 6A.
Clackamas.
Yeah, my junior year, and then that got shut down the day quarterfinals of the state tournament was supposed to start my junior year. Yeah. So I never got to play in the state tournament my junior or senior year.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah, you were a COVID.
Yeah.
High school COVID kid.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I won, Gatorade Player of the Year that junior year.
Yeah.
Probably would have done it again my senior year, but.
Of course. So that leads me into, you know, we can talk about how much bullshit all that stuff was, but everybody already fucking knows. Seriously, though, it's just like, it's just that I can't imagine. Like the kid, Tyson Dagenhart at Boise State, he didn't get to play his senior year. You know what I mean? It just feels so bad because the kids are so good and how much time you put in and whatever. It sucks.
Yeah.
You came early because of that. Now, you had the free COVID year. COVID aside, do you get pissed like thinking back, not just like politically, but like not having the memories with your buddies playing, coming here early? Would you have come here early if that wasn't the case? No. Okay, that's what I figured.
I mean, playing high school with the kids you grew up with is the best time.
It is.
It is the best. I mean, I still talk to, a lot of the guys that, I played with, went to school with. I mean, we grew up together. So, I definitely, I'm kind of sad I didn't get those memories, but I went to, they started their season like this summer, in the summertime. And so I was back home And so I was going to their games, like watching them. Like
That sucks.
it was weird, man, because like we're in the same class.
Yeah.
But I just wrapped up the Final Four, going to the Final Four at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And now I'm back with you guys. It was weird, man. But,
so when you first came on, you were how old, 18? Or were you still 17?
I think I was just turned 18.
Just turned 18. Was that weird being in that locker room with like that good of a team?
Yeah.
So all pros,
I was
basically.
so scared coming in
Hi,
there.
guys.
Man. Yeah, so scared.
Like,
Because
hi.
I remember watching their first game. I was already committed. I don't know if I decided I was going to come early yet, but I watched the first game against Kansas, and I was like, holy
shit. Yeah, it was really good.
These dudes.
They're really good.
I'm about to be with, So I was very nervous walking in there for the first time, but it was the best group of guys, man. Like off the court, we were always together. They just welcomed me in with open arms. So they made that process so easy.
It was Corey, Joel, obviously Drew, and Jalen, Andrew, like
AC, Aaron Cook.
Yeah, it was all like pros.
Literally,
I forgot about Aaron Cook.
Yeah,
flashback. So like going into that, like, are you upset that you had to waste a half a COVID year on that? Is what I'm trying to get at. Oh, if that makes sense.
I mean, it didn't count. I think if I had a time machine, I would have redshirted my freshman year, my actual freshman year.
Yeah.
Because it's like we had Chet, Drew, and Anton.
Yeah.
There's not much time for me to get out there.
Was that an option for you?
I didn't. It just never came up. It just never came up. And, looking back at it now that my time's done, I'm like, man.
With
redshirted and with the NIL now and everything, I would have tried to stay in college as long as I possibly could. Yeah. But, everything happens for a reason now. It's time to move on with my life.
Before Gonzaga, like, who offered you? Like, what was your recruitment process like? Because everybody's different, obviously. I was rarely recruited, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
Right? Non-big AU clubs weren't like a thing. Obviously the internet and all that shit. So like, what was your recruitment like process? Because I never went on visits or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I like to hear how guys got to work here.
Okay, yeah. So my sophomore year, or maybe my freshman year, they do the Hoop Summit in Portland with the high school.
Is that the Les Schwab one or whatever?
No, it's the international versus USA guys.
Yeah.
And so they scrimmaged, and so at the Nike campus where my brother worked at, and he asked me if I wanted to come play. And Fran Franchilla was there, and I was hooping like crazy for a young kid. And then, so Fran was there, and he did like all the rankings. So he got me. I was like, started like top 30 in the country when those rankings first came out. So after that, my name was kind of out there. And then sophomore year really got busy with the offers and such. Like Texas, Arizona with Sean Miller, Oregon State were pretty early, Virginia. Those are probably kind of like my top, when I was narrowing it down.
Yeah. When did Gonzaga come to the picture? Late or?
Well, the thing is, B Mike had been talking to me since my sophomore year.
Yeah,
so
it's his territory.
We had a good relationship. But they were recruiting Paulo super heavy.
Yeah.
So they kind of, faded off me a little bit. And I was super upset because this is the place I always wanted to go. And I was like, man, I'm so close. And then that kind of died down a little bit. And then Paulo committed to Duke, and I think it might have been the same day or next day. They're back on.
Hey, we got one for you. I got a spot.
I'm like, man, I was literally about to decide between probably 4 or 5 other schools that I was really stressing about, and then they came in. I was like, man,
what was like? Where would you have gone? Just hypothetically.
I think I really like Sean Miller at Arizona.
And U of A, man, kidding me? Did you go down on a visit there?
I took a visit there,
yeah.
It's legit.
A different world.
It's legit. It's a little different than Spokane.
It's I don't know how they don't land recruits
they
there.
Just should have every 5-star.
Every 5-star, you go down there and you're like, okay, this will work. And then, but you're also have to tell you ask yourself like,
I got a lot.
Can I go to school? Can I be a productive human being? Because it gets easy to get lost down there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Holy shit.
It was there or Oregon, and that's where all my buddies were going, and they were all in frats and everything. So that probably wouldn't have been a good call.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard because you're like, I can have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. But yeah. So this was perfect, basketball.
Yeah. So B Mike was your guy.
Yeah.
Did you do like a visit and sit down with Fewy or anything, or was you just straight? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah,
those dinners are always fun.
I mean, I didn't even take an official visit here because COVID was that time. So, so he came down to my school my junior year. Few and B Mike, came to my school, had like a little sit down, talked about fishing, what my chores were at home, and I was like, shit, I don't really have any. I'm mow the lawn, I guess.
Awesome.
But so it was like just thinking they were going to offer me, because that was still before they had offered me, and it didn't come, and I was like, what was the point of that? Like,
you just could have had a phone conversation.
That's what I'm
FaceTime.
saying. Yeah.
So anyway.
But yeah, that was a little strange. But I've came to so many games here growing up, so I was familiar with it. I came like a couple unofficial visits, I guess, but it was just to come watch a game, and they just got me tickets to come watch. So, and we have family out here, so we would always make this trip up here.
So like literally right when you got the offer, you were like, I'm there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Because I remember first time I seen you was during I can't remember when you came on campus, second semester, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Who did you play against? But it was when it was empty, and me and Huddy were up top. It was so weird calling games like that. And then, it was like, this kid just is a junior, But then it was because of COVID, so we're like, okay, that makes sense. Like, why stay and sit on your ass and do nothing in Oregon, right? And so, it was just a kind of an odd deal. Looking back at your career, like I loved how you talked about the redshirting thing, because it was stacked there. I remember freshman year was washed that one away. Okay. Sophomore year, I think where it turned for you, this is just my personal opinion on like getting minutes and finding a role, and then moving into starting lineup eventually, and having a defined role, was that Purdue PK 85 or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
And like got our ass kicked, but there's no offense, but like Efton Reed was dog shit that game, and then they threw you in, and you had a good like spurt and run, and then it was like, well, he should play more. And then do you think that was the turning point for you?
Or was
it like building and practices, or
I mean, I don't remember the practices. I remember I was still working my ass off trying to, but like to start the year, I was so down on myself because like we played Texas that year, didn't get in the game at all.
So that's terrible.
And I was like, I just went through this all last year. I was calling home, I'm ready to redshirt. I'm ready to redshirt and transfer right now.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, just stick it out. Thank God I did. And then, that game was big. I think people forget I was like, started 0 for 3, 0 for 4 from 3 with the air ball in the Purdue game. And I saw going into halftime, I didn't score. I was like, oh God, don't put me back out there.
Yeah, it's like,
this is my first real opportunity in Portland with a lot of friends and family there. I'm like, God, this is the way it's going.
Yeah.
And then I came in the second half and kind of had a good little run. And then that kind of got, Well,
I think it wasn't just like, I think it was the energy is what everybody loved. And, I think Fewy and the staff, because we needed a shot in the arm, and Purdue was so good that year with Edie and their guards, or, that are juniors now. But it just was like, we need somebody with some life here. Yeah. And I think that's what everybody was like.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. For me, I was just looking back, I was like, I think that was the time when kind of
that's
everything.
My dad always used to tell me, just find your way on the court, no matter what it is. Find a little role, and just find your way on there. And then once you're there, you can kind of expand after you kind of prove yourself. And that was kind of what I had to do. In high school, I was never doing that stuff ever. Like, I wasn't the energy hustle around guy. I was the guy who was getting numbers, getting numbers. But I knew I had to do it,
man. Fuck, I
go back.
Yeah, no, it was high school. Like, you could like rest on defense and go on.
Right? Do anything.
Just play 2-3 zone. You be the guy in the middle, block shit, and then, all right, I'm gonna go shoot down the other end. It's like, all right, it's like the only time you came out, it's like just to like a 30-second rest. It was like
right before the end of the quarter.
Exactly. Like, don't even look at me, coach.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that was the fun days. And then it's when you had like Supreme bounce. Like, people don't realize, like, when you had the high school bounce, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I always felt. Like, looking back, I'm like, fuck, I could like windmill in high school.
Yeah, it's always
legs,
fresh.
Yeah, you're just fresh, and you're like, God dang, man.
You're not just constantly pounding your legs every day in weights and practices.
Yeah. So that season ends, you felt good enough to stay. Was
Mm-hmm.
that ever brought up back again, or you were happy with your role after sophomore season? Just personally, it's not a knock on the staff or anything. I'm just talking about your deal.
No, I was happy.
Yeah.
I was relieved I was playing.
Yeah.
And I knew the next year I was going to have a,
Bigger
opportunity to have a bigger role.
So who left after that year?
Efton, Hunter.
Yep.
I think that was Drew's last year.
Was that Drew's last year?
Yeah.
Had to have been. Yes.
Yeah. Because we had Graham. Yeah. Graham last year.
Okay.
So then it was Graham came. Was a little down about that just because it's another big guy added in the way we play. You could play 4 or 5. So
yeah, that
kind of got me down a little bit, but I don't know. Like I said, I've just stuck with him my whole career here, man. That's what I'm most proud of. Through all the ups and downs, and not playing to playing a little bit to playing a lot.
Well, the reason I asked is because, I don't think some people realize, you have to earn equity in the bank, the FUE and the staff, and it was different when I played because we didn't have as many good players. So, solidifying a spot. Wouldn't say it was easier, but there was less competition. Yeah. And then we played a different style. So your main guys stayed on the floor more. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. When I play I'd play sophomore and junior year, I was probably playing 32 to 38 minutes and never had to look over my shoulder. Yeah. That's a big difference for guys. And people don't realize just your flow as a player, confidence, how that changes if you don't have to you're not looking over your shoulder ever. You have the ultimate neon green light, or you're allowed to make a mistake, try some shit. But then the counter to that is with my teams compared to yours, we sometimes ran out of gas because we were playing too many minutes. We didn't have the depth, so foul trouble is a real thing, and we weren't as dynamic. We couldn't, personnel wise, we couldn't be okay, we have this guy to counter your guy and vice versa. Okay, you have to counter to us. But, like I said, going into your junior year, you felt good enough because there was a time when after my freshman year, I played, but I was frustrated but I knew if I had a good start, I was going to. So when did you start getting in this? You started the last 19 games I read your junior year. Do you remember what propelled that? All these teams meshed together for me, so I apologize. Do you remember?
Well, Dusty was the starting, and then we've been working on a big lineup with me, Anton, and Graham.
Okay, yes,
we've been working on that in practice. Okay. And then I think we lost to Santa Clara at their place.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then I think it was right after that game, and I didn't even play great in that Santa Clara. I don't even know if I did anything in that Santa Clara game. But they're we got to switch something up, so I got in the lineup after that, and then started the rest of the season.
Started hooping that deal.
Boosted confidence, everything.
Yeah.
It was
How do they tell you that stuff? I'm curious now.
Know how few is, man.
Did he tell you right before the game or not?
He'll tell you. I think we had a shoot around at Pepperdine. He's like, Ben, you're starting.
Yeah.
You're starting on tomorrow. I was like, all right. It's not a big,
no, I know. The reason I say it because fuck my freshman year, and people have listened to this, have heard this story, but I'll tell you real quick is I didn't know I was going to even play my freshman year. Really, they wanted to redshirt me, blah blah blah. I had a great fall, started hooping, and we were playing our first game at Madison Square Garden, and he's like, I was at the fucking shoot around the night before.
Yeah.
He's like, Adam, you're starting. I turned red. I was like, I don't know all the sets. I don't know. I was so nervous because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Oh, for sure.
But I wanted thinking back, and it's not his fault, but I liked coaches that told you in enough time because you prepare your body differently in your mind.
Mentally, for sure.
For sure. And your nap routine might change, your pregame might change, but then also just knowing, okay, I got to be fucking ready to go. Not
from the tip.
Yeah. This is, and then you kind of start going, okay, probably at the 13-minute mark, I'm probably coming out. You know what I mean? So you kind of have an internal
when
clock.
When go empty the tank a little bit.
Yeah. When, if I need to get some up,
right?
It's coming. So if I got to get a couple reps up, I'm getting them up.
That's the thing. I don't think a lot of people realize coming off the bench and starting is totally different,
different.
like mentally preparing for. Like, you
Yep.
know, coming off the bench, you get to see the game, read how it's going, kind of like visualize yourself with the position you're going to go get, what the guy, your guard's doing. From the jump, like you just start and you just got to go. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out.
You got to go. And then if you like, I think with starting, if you have a bad start, like as the game is going, the anxiety is higher.
For sure.
If you come off the bench and let's say you go 0 for 2 or whatever, but you had a good sequence, you're going to come out anyway.
Yeah.
So you can kind of play freer and loose.
A lot more free.
Or you're just like, well, fuck it.
You know. Yeah. I mean, if you're on the bench, starters have a bad start, kind of like against Houston. You come in carefree, like
exactly.
Can't do any worse than what's going on right now.
And then people don't realize too, and this is a real thing. It's not a knock on how I'm describing it, but you're going against a backup usually too when you come off the bench.
Exactly. So
in theory, it's easier in that regard. Because I came off the bench my freshman year and I loved the role because I played like 19 minutes, but I had like free reign to take shitty shots. But that was my role. Like X factor, if you can score. If not, you're coming out at this time no matter what. So I was like, fuck, this is great. Yeah. And then going into my sophomore year, it was like, fuck this pressure. Like, because I had some bad stretches where it's like, oh shit, we're down 12 because I'm playing like dog shit, you know, like or I'm not ready to go to start. And it puts your team behind the 8 ball a little bit. Definitely. And then you start thinking about, fuck, you know, can I start next game and stuff like that? Who'd we play junior year? We lost to UConn, right? UConn in Vegas, right?
It was the Elite 8.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that was sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Okay,
junior year, we lost to Purdue.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these games metal to me. I'm sorry, but I just every team too. I'm like, what team were you on? You know what I mean? Like for real, like what group were you on? Because anyway, like I thought that UConn team was the best defensive team I've ever seen in college. Would you agree with that? Like just being on the court and seeing them up close, like the way they could switch everything.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
You know
college.
What I'm saying?
If you're able to switch everything and have a guard that can
get over
defend post,
the top, and fucking front.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't understand a double team either. That's big time in college. But yeah, I think offensively they were the best offensive team I've ever seen.
Really?
Like,
well, yeah, they had
that constant motion that they were doing.
They had the Hawkins kid or whatever that could shoot.
Caravan, Klingon
was obviously good. Caravan was good, and then they had the Joey Calcaterra from San Diego, who was a good role.
Came in,
just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's what I think Mahaney was thinking he was going to turn into, and it didn't work out. No offense, but yet I don't know why he went there. Should have stayed at Santa Clara or St. Mary's.
No, for sure.
Fucking ball was in your hand the whole game. Whatever. Anyway, I was like, the ball's in your hand the whole game. Like, what else do you want?
And you're playing for Danny Hurley.
It'd be tough.
Different animal.
Yeah, it's a different animal. You got to play defense the whole. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah,
he's a good coach, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So you know, going into those like tournament losses. So your senior was Drew, and then the next year was Anton, basically.
Yeah.
What was the locker room like after that? Obviously, you're sad, but what was it like?
Sophomore year, I don't really remember.
Yeah.
Because it was a blowout. It was like a 40-point loss against UConn my sophomore year.
UConn was a different animal.
So it was like, you know, I think that one doesn't hurt as much as the close ones.
Yep.
Like,
it's a very good point.
The Purdue one, last year against Purdue, I think was hurt more because I thought the way we were playing and the confidence we had that we thought if we weren't playing Duke or UConn that year, we could have made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
We just ran into them. We ran into Purdue. So it was like, man, I mean, coming off what we just did to Kansas in the round of 32, like we thought we were rolling. So that one hurt a lot more in just Anton's legacy, you know, like seeing how emotional he was. That was sad to see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were like, man, we're only losing Anton. Like, we're going to have everybody back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's get to work right now.
Was Ton your guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Great dude, man. Yeah. Great dude. Yeah, I miss him a lot. He just misses, like, I mean, I'm supposed to be a leader, but it's just hard the way, it was just different the way he did it. Like, he was just all lead by example. Like, and if he said something,
people listen.
They listen, you know, because he wasn't always talking like me. I'm a goofy dude. So, like, I don't know how much people take me serious.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know. It's just kind of different.
Yeah, you played hard.
Yeah, you know, for sure,
like,
for sure.
That helped. No, for real. Like people, like we've all played with guys that don't not play hard, but don't like dive and do all that crazy shit. And like give their body up, then it's hard to listen to them. If a guy does that, you're like, okay, fucking, I'll listen.
I think so.
You know what I mean? So that makes a big difference. Because I played for guys that try to yap, and you're like, well, fuck, dude.
Show me something.
And, you know, if you're not going to do it. And it's, you know, like, use myself example, like, I didn't play no fucking defense. I was yelling at everybody playing defense. What are you talking about? But throw me the ball the other side. That stuff matters. So going into this year, you started the first game, right? Baylor.
Yeah.
What was it like going into this season? Like, obviously the excitement, you know, it's your senior year, everything's on the line. What was it like with the roster additions for you mentally?
I mean, I didn't really know how they were gonna play Mike. I didn't know if he's gonna be a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
Hoping it wasn't the 4 just because I wanted to. I mean,
you want to
play as much. You want to play 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
But you know, he earned my respect just the way he worked.
Yeah.
But obviously I wasn't, you know, thrilled. Because like I said, I wanted to play 40 minutes. But I mean, that's just not possible with what we were trying to do. If we were trying to get to, you know, the points we're trying to get to, we need guys, backup guys, every position. So it was a little different. And I think it kind of messed with me a little bit mentally. And the way I started the season, which is absolutely awful.
I don't think it was awful. I think you just had some rim outs, and then that it snowballed a little bit.
I wish I knew what was going on. I've never shot like this in my entire life this year.
I watched, like, at the start, I thought the ball was coming off your hands good enough. That's the first thing I look for is like, okay, rotation.
Yeah.
You know, how you get into your pocket, because you're not going to change a guy's shot.
No.
So like when I look at guys that are stab D1 guys, you know, like yourself, okay, is it coming off earth spin? Are you thumbing it? And then like how you get into your release point, everything looked the same.
Yeah.
I think you just had some bad luck with like rim outs. Like honestly, that's no bullshit.
No. Yeah.
Like it just looked like, oh, you know, excuse me. And then you'd be like, fuck. But you don't want to like.
Kept happening.
Yeah. I think too, this is just my personal opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like when you're looking over your shoulder, if you're going to get subbed, it's harder. Just plain and simple.
1000%.
It's harder, and it's hard to play through that and convince yourself that's not a deal, but it is. So for my personal experience, like when I went to the league, that was the hardest thing for me, is I wasn't used to somebody that if you miss a couple, and if you can get over that, but then also it's frustrating when you're like, you know, you let it go, and you're like, that's going in, and it doesn't.
Yep.
Then you start second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked fine come off your hand.
Yeah, I just
I'm not
don't
bullshitting you, because I would have told you, like, we know each other enough.
Yeah.
And I've told other guys in the past, like, you know, I had Dusty last year. I came in one time, and Nolan 1 year, his floater game is all fucked up, and I was just one after a game. It's like, dude, you're shooting a shot put, like just shoot it normal.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. You know what I mean? Not that it changed, but it's like, hey, just shoot
a little thing.
You need the backspin.
Yep.
And anyway, so I thought it was coming off your hand good, but I thought you still played with like the passion and fire that everybody loved to see.
Yeah.
Right.
I just had higher expectations for myself. Like, you know, going into senior year, you started the last 19 games. You ended the season solid individually. I thought, you know, I was gonna be putting up numbers doing this, and then it just didn't come. And I think I was just put too much pressure on myself to do that. That kind of messed with me a little bit.
Was it just a pure numbers thing, or just were you just, or was it like how you felt emotionally, just on how your game felt? So did you feel good in the fall?
Yeah, felt great.
Did you feel great in the summer?
Felt great in the summer.
Okay.
We had pickup games, and they were keeping stats, and I was like,
they keep
I was
stats
hooping.
now, pickup games.
We played to 100. We keep the same teams, and
I didn't know that.
We got
weird.
Managers. Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Play to 100.
Yeah, it's long.
That is long.
But like, so we do like 25-minute quarters. 25-point quarters. So you do 25 points, you get a little break. Another 20, we get to 50, another break, and then all the way to 100. But yeah, they keep stats of that. But yeah, that's a lot.
When
of
did
basketball.
they start doing that? Have
This
they done
summer.
it? This summer?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do before for pickup? Did you
It's like 11,
11
twos,
and
or 15, 2s and 3s.
Yeah, and then you play best out of 7 or whatever.
Yeah, best out of 7. Yeah.
I always like that better.
And
that
then, but after 7, he goes, all right, nah, best of 9.
Yeah.
And then
But then it gets competitive.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then like we used to have the rule, if you probably had the same way, if you have a leak out and you don't get across half court, bucket doesn't count. So it prevents people from just standing back, cherry picking. You know what I mean? So like we always had that rule, and then we would do like, you didn't always have to take it. If the ball went in, you could just throw it off the wall and bring it. So we play faster. Yeah. But we used to play a shit ton of pickup.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, we can go into the warehouse. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, summertimes here are the best, man. That's what I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss that's what I miss the most here. About this place is summertime.
Where'd you guys stay? Where'd you stay in the summer?
Well, I just moved into the apartment building.
You don't have to say it. Don't say which one.
Yeah,
for real.
Probably smart.
Yeah.
But I moved into a different apartment this summer, so I was staying there. But before I was in the Kennedy apartments on campus. That's where everybody is.
Yeah.
Right now, most people.
Yeah, we had. I mean, I think it was Corkery.
Yeah, that's where I was my freshman year.
So they had, those were brand newish when I was going into my sophomore year. And it was me and Earl Knight. Somehow they gave me and him an apartment, and there was no students except an RA at the other side. And I'm from Spokane, and Earl's from Seattle. We had a great time. Yeah, it was one of those like, I don't know how I got better at basketball this summer. Holy shit. And why the fuck did they let us have our own apartment? It was bad. Bad. Because it's our own place. And we were like 19, 20. He was 21, I think. Yeah, it was wild. It was great. But the summers, because we'd get up, we go play pickup at like noon.
Yep.
You do your camp bullshit. If you guys don't work camps anymore, do you?
You can, because you can get paid to do it.
To do it.
But now with some guys, like,
you don't need to do it. Yeah, we had to do it because you needed some money. Yeah, you go do that, and then you play at night.
Yeah, for the kids. And then like you'd go out, and then you just rinse and repeat. Or you wouldn't go out. You'd just be at your apartment fucking around doing whatever you were doing. Or we always tried to, on like Thursdays or Fridays, we'd always try and be like, yo, can we get these lifts and practices up, get done by like 1, go out to the lake. That's what we hanging out at the lake. But yeah, it's the best time of the year.
So season ends, right? Obviously we talked about Houston in the Open. What's your plans next? Like, you can do summer league, you got an agent?
I'm talking to an agent right after this. Actually got a Zoom call with one. I need, just trying to find somebody. I have no idea right now.
Yeah.
I just got to get back to hooping again, man. Like, I think I'm not even mad about it or anything, but I just kind of had this role here that was energy hustle guy. Mm-hmm. So now I got to get back to learn how to put the ball on the floor again, hooping, confident, that type of stuff. So this summer's definitely going to be big on that.
So yeah, like if you get an agent, they'll probably send you to, you see either go to like LA, sometimes Phoenix, and those are always good. You go for like a month, you just work out against other pros.
Yep.
They get better and stuff like that. And then I'm sure you'll get, like camp invites and stuff for like summer league. Yeah. And those are great opportunities. And I think your game can translate because you can space the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. That's why I'm so pissed. I shot it like I did.
I don't think you shot it. I think you're beating the shit out of yourself on this for no reason, man. Like, for real. I thought you shot it fine. After halfway through the season, you were at like 35%.
Yeah.
Previous to what you started with.
Yeah.
That was your numbers. Well, I know, but again, that happens.
Yeah. But now I'm just saying, looking at it like from overall like percentage standpoint, it's just obviously not where I want it to be. But I think over my career, I think I proved myself enough that
you were in the mid to upper 30s from three.
Yeah, I was like 30. Yeah, I was like 38 last year, I think.
Yeah. No, I looked at the numbers. So you were mid like 30s. If you're 36 to obviously above and you're on volume, you're fine.
Yeah.
Especially in this system with Zoom actions, DHOs, pick pops.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to, like, if you go to summer league, you're gonna have to really commit to guarding.
Yeah.
Not that you don't now, but like on a different level where you have to like love it.
Yeah.
And then you got to be like a corner three, like you can't miss them.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but like you'll understand an agent will talk to you, but you need to shoot a fucking like 250 threes a day from NBA range.
Yeah.
Every day.
Uh-huh.
And then like really commit to like, I might have to guard 2 through 5 and I have to like fall in love with it and contest every fucking shot, pick up, you know what I'm saying? Get through every pin down, all that shit, and then be able to switch. You can switch, which helps. That's probably what they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
And then you'll laugh at this and you'll understand it in 3 months. You'll be like, I wasn't in shape in college, even though you are in a pro shape. You'll go, oh fuck yeah, you'll go to like those camps, and you'll like start like conditioning differently, and then obviously nutrition will change, then lifting, and you're like, holy shit, it's crazy. It's weird, man, because you're like, oh, I was in the best shape of my fucking life.
Yeah.
You know,
did you feel out of shape when you were doing all that stuff, or like,
no,
you had all the pre-draft? I feel like those workouts are pretty intense.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. My point is, like, I played a shit ton of minutes, obviously, my last year here. Played a ton. I played balls in my hand all the time. So I was well conditioned.
Yeah.
But I had a trainer who would make me do like 16s in between drills. And you do that for like 2 months, and then you start playing and you come back, you're like, I wasn't in shape. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? You'll be like, holy fuck.
Okay.
And then like lifting wise, excuse me, and then nutrition, but they'll probably send you somewhere and it'll be good, and you'll get a chance somewhere. You know, summer
that's
league.
the thing. But like at Gonzaga, we do little to no conditioning. We just play. Like he's never eaten few. I don't think I've ever ran set of lines here unless, you know, you lost a drill or something, and then, you know, but you can kind of,
which I believe in is the right mentality.
For sure.
When you practice, like, I believe in like always having the ball in your hand. So like with Fewy, doing that is the right thing to do. But when you start doing drills and you add like just sprinting, because like Rip Hamilton, you remember Rip Hamilton? Probably he used to run the word was he'd run a full sprint mile on a treadmill and then do a shooting workout. Your cardio will get to a level where you're like, oh shit. Okay. And your bounce will get better. It's just crazy. Yeah. I'll be like, what the hell? Yeah. I thought I was in shape. And it's like, you're not. But let's talk about a couple more things. We'll get you out of here. What's that Allstate thing you won? It's pretty cool. Like community impacts, NACDA good works team. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Just, you know, getting recognized for, you know, doing stuff in the community.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I did like this summer, I took 25 foster kids back to school shopping, gave them each $500. Did a lot of stuff with Rick Clark here in Spokane. He's been, you know, awesome for me. Just doing little things. But throughout my time here, I've done some cool events. I mean, getting recognized for that's pretty sweet.
I mean, that's like something that a lot of guys don't have, especially here. So congrats to that, man. That's a cool thing, especially giving back to the community, but not, you know, you said you're from here, but not from here. You get what I'm saying? So like, that's cool. And that, you know, that I think some people don't understand, players don't understand, some of them, and you'll know what I'm talking about, is doing those type of things puts positive equity in the bank in this community. Then later down the road, it's gonna help you out. If you ever come back or whatever and like want a job or something, somebody's gonna give you, be like, oh man, I remember you did this for my kid, or I remember seeing you at this. So that, congrats to that. Cause like,
appreciate that.
One thing that bothers me is when they talk about college, you know, athletics with NIL and all that stuff now. It's like the connections that you're allowed to make that other students don't get.
People don't take advantage of it.
They don't take advantage of it. And that's an actual value. And I hate when there's no value assessed on that. You know what I mean? How many like big time boosters are we around that are great people, but they're sizing you up in a good way too, that they'll take their shirt off for you, but you also can't be an asshole.
That's not, we go to all these events, you know, the summertime, we go to the community cancer fund golf tournament, and we just go to dinner at these boosters' houses, and guys are just like chilling, not talking to anybody. Like, this is the time to network, man. Like, I mean, basketball's not going to be with you forever.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You got to think about life after basketball. You got to build relationships.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, the community loves us so much that we're like so well known that people will come up and have a conversation. You can't just blow everybody off. I mean, that people remember that type of stuff, you know? So that's something I try and do, you know, networking side and having conversations with new people, meet new people, seeing how, you know, we could help each other in the future maybe. But
well, it's, you know, like I said, that's a pretty cool deal to be involved with and get recognized. How many commercials did you do? Jeez. Holy shit. Like, and I don't watch the games, obviously. I'm calling them, but everybody's like, dude, your boy is on every commercial. I don't know if I'm like, good for him.
I was.
How many? I mean, I'm just curious.
I did the Bills AC. I think we did 3 or 4 maybe.
How long on set were you?
Those ones were quick. Those ones were quick.
You're a one take guy.
Yeah. My first couple times.
Know your fucking lines, man.
My first couple times was brutal. I was nervous.
Oh, it's nervous as hell, man. I've been in commercial. It's terrible. People don't realize like that camera light turns on and everybody's staring at you.
You can't even like function.
And you start sweating and you're like, and you can't remember anything. Talking. And like, even when I do reads on here, when it's not even live, like I have to do like 30 takes because I can't read a sentence, but I can read. I know that, right? You know what I mean?
It's a little different when the camera's on. Yeah, but yeah, that was Northern Quest, Walker's Furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I did a tractor company one.
Nice, dude.
I just tried to do as much as I could, man. You know, take advantage of everything.
Should have been your agent, man.
I didn't have an agent. My brother did all the NIL stuff for me. He kind of took care of everything because he's kind of in that business, working with athletes. He works for the Jordan brand. So he reps Luka and a couple NBA guys, a lot of MLB
he knew
guys.
Exactly. That's perfect. Exactly. So then you didn't have to
pay him or anything.
You didn't have to pay him. I wonder what the college agents make because it's a hard. I think it's 4% the NBA. It's like hard.
I think it's like 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're charging like 10%.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm trying to think.
I'm giving up 10% of my money.
I know.
I'm not making that much.
That's 10% is a crazy number. Like 4 was for the contract side, but then with like the endorsements, they can charge whatever they wanted. So that 10% maybe makes sense in that regards. I don't know. 4%. I'm just curious. Yeah.
4% of some of these NBA contracts is
I know.
Life changing.
100%. Yeah. I still have friends that one of my buddies, Aaron Mintz, not to name drop, but works for CAA, was, worked for Pride Sports when I was there in the LA division. He's doing all right for himself.
Yeah, I bet.
And he's earned it. You know, he was a runner and did all that shit. Yeah, worked his way up. He was a manager, I think, at University of Michigan. Like, so he's done the process.
Yeah.
He's doing fine for himself.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially with CAA. But yeah, the contracts now are like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like once you get, done with officially, stay in touch, man. I want to follow your career and
definitely
see what's going on. And if, like I said, you're going to get opportunities, where like, if the league doesn't work out, how do you want to keep playing or for sure?
I'll go overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be cool with that and working my way up there.
Yeah.
I know what I'm confident in myself. I know what I can do. I just got to prove myself now. And, overseas, you just got to start lower and work your way up.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and I'm sure you've, your dad knowing the game and all that stuff. And then your brothers, it's a different animal over there too, though. Yeah, and you got to make sure you get paid.
Yeah, my brother played in Australia for a couple of years.
That's a good league, actually.
Not the top league. He was
okay.
He was kind of in the bottom league. He worked his way up a little bit,
but
though.
like
never
country wise, though.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Loved it.
And the monies were like legit. When I say like get paid, I'm not saying like make as much, like physically get the money put into your hands, because the favorite word is like I'll pay you tomorrow.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard guys that didn't get paid.
I got screwed out of, I think, like, if my memory serves, like 35 or 50. Because what happens is it's in the bylaws where you can like sue them, and like there's a international court in Sweden or something like that. Geneva, I think it is, actually, if that's Sweden. But like, the international court. So like they're like, well, sue me, and it takes like a year. And then like you're gonna have to pay your expenses and a lawyer to get over there. And then they'll just be like, okay, we'll pay you half. And then you just decide on that, and then nothing happens. So like you basically kind of always get fucked.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't bad. I got most of my money. It was just towards the end. I was kind of like, I don't care. I'm out of here. Like, fuck this.
Ready to get back to the States.
But like it's, or like get put in your hand. And here's the funny thing. If they ever pay you in like cash, make them print out the corresponding, what's the serial numbers on the $100 bills?
Yeah.
So you won't get counterfeits. I'm
really?
Serious. Yeah. You're like, so, because how often, if you got like 25K, how easy would it be to slip in like 10,000 counterfeit? You don't even notice. Yeah. So like what I would do when I was in Serbia, and they didn't even care, but I was like, can I have the serial number? So I got to print it out, fucking deal with all the matching serial numbers. So I had to go through to make sure they were all real.
Dang.
But it's a good thing to know. I don't know if it's that bad now. You probably just go wire.
Yeah.
But
I heard people are still getting paid in cash.
You can get paid cash, because then obviously Uncle Sam doesn't know, and you can take it back. That's the other reason.
Yeah.
Not that I encourage like tax fraud, but like if you're getting paid like 10 grand, like just give me 10 grand so I can just walk home with it. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it's a huge number, then no, but like, or just give me $5,000, like and they'll for them too. They're probably like, we don't want to report it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody thinks everything's tax free. It's like, it's tax free over there, but you still have to pay taxes on your income in the United States. Like dumb fuckers. Like it's so stupid. Like everything's free. It's like, no, it's not. Like it's, you know, you get a free car and an apartment, all that shit over there, but usually the car is a pile of shit.
Yeah.
And the apartment's a pile of shit. And that's not a knock. It's just like they're, you know, the expenses.
Like,
yeah. They're just like, here's a dorm room basically. And you're like, I'm 29 years old. I'm just only living this piece of shit. And yeah, so overseas is fun. You get to experience new things, and the basketball's great because the crowds.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure. The only advice I give you is to make sure, like, you get half up front, or so if it goes haywire, you at least got something.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the hardest part. And if you have a good agent, they can get that done. If not, I've seen a lot of guys get screwed over, and sometimes it's not even the club's fault. They're not as, you know, fluid cash wise. They're just not. They're not huge clubs unless you're playing for like a Real or a Barca that has a big soccer following. Even then, they're like, fuck basketball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For sure.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's fun watching you, man. I love watching your game. I love the excitement. I used to always joke, and if people listen to our broadcast, I'd be like, well, Ben makes us look better. And then when you were doing your fucking all your shit, I was like, yes, all the crowd's getting into it. And I'm going to tell you this, and it's going to make you fucking blush. It's going to be funny though. I don't know how many fucking like 30 to 40-year-old people. Do you know Ben? Like, and they're like hinting like, no, I'm not giving you this fucker's number or anything like that.
Nah,
do you get what I'm saying?
I know.
So and I've just always be like, how's Ben Gregg? And I'd be like, shut up. Fuck him. You know, not really, but it's just like all the time. And I'm just like, oh man, what's it like to be 22 or 23, however old you are, 21?
There's some weird people in this world, man.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure you dealt with it, but it's different now with all the stuff. But yeah, it was fun watching me. I loved your game. Your parents are cool as shit. I love talking to both of them. They're awesome. Seeing your dad on the road. Yeah. I always said like, hey, let's go get a beer. But then every time I'd be walking into a game, he's like, come on. I'm like, I gotta go fucking call a game. You know, I'd be like, what the hell?
They get after it.
And then he like I'd always somehow see him in the stands because he's not hard to miss. I mean that in a bad way, but it's just like and I just loved watching his reactions to stuff. Like it was good and bad, because I'm the same way when my daughter plays. Yeah. Like I gotta sit, like, don't talk to me. Yep. And I'm just, you know, and then like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, so they're fun, and it was terrific watching you.
Enjoy the time.
Thank you to our sponsors, McGilvery Environmental, M4 CPA, and Idaho Central Credit Union. We'll be back next week with a Final Four episode. Thanks for listening.
Working this graveyard shift, I hate it. 6 in the morning, I'm off, I made it. When I get home, I'ma make this clear. First thing I'ma drink is a Rainier beer. I ain't no lush, shut up, hush. This is how I zone out. I'ma take this check, put it on me. I'm a much better boss than an employee. Just cause you got time, don't waste time. It's about time, feel the sunshine. You got time, but don't waste time. It's go time.
Produced locally in Spokane, Washington at Spokecast.